Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Neoliberalism. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I am going to give this big sister a very big shout out, the socialist. Thank you so much for this beautiful, amazing video because while listening to it, it spoke to me in so many ways, and I am sure that a lot of people will be able to connect to it. And thank you so much. Please, if you are not following her, go follow her. She is awesome, right? So she actually touched everything going on today, from making a law, because to them it is always the law to hold some people down. And I wanted to know that why they were, when they made this law, they do not have people that look like me in mind. But peradventure, it looks like the law is trying to favor people that look like me. They look for a way to bypass the law, create another policy in order to change it, in order to continue to keep you down where you are. If you look around what is going on, you can actually see that how black people have put their bodies literally into almost everything. Black people have wedged, there is something they have not wedged. The sand of United States is filled with black bloods, black sweat, and all of it. And what I said is that if blood and sweat could talk, the floor or the ground will be speaking. Innocent people. Breonna Taylor did not get her justice, and so many of them. But you know what?
America has always been a land of contradiction. The Constitution says we the people, but who did they really mean? For centuries, laws in this country have served as shields for some and weapons against others. White supremacy, white nationalism, white conservatism, they've used the law not as a tool of fairness, but as a leash to control everyone else. And when those laws are no longer useful to them, they discard them without hesitation. We're living in a time when it feels like the Constitution never existed, like we are not in the year 2025, but in 1825. We talk about the Titanic, but never the thousands of slave ships that sank, filled with black bodies, thrown overboard, some still breathing, some shackled to each other, forgotten at the bottom of the Atlantic. We talk about Pearl Harbor, but not Black Wall Street, not Rosewood, not Oscarville, not the thousands of black Americans who were lynched, burned, drowned, mutilated, and never received justice. Emmett Till's murderer died free, so did the police who murdered Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and Tyree Nichols. Our blood has fed this soil, and the only thing that ever grew from it was denial. Now, let's talk about today. Concentration camps. Yes, I said it. Not detention centers. Camps. An 82-year-old man went to get his green card replaced after losing his wallet. ICE took him. He's dead now, and they don't know where he is. Deportation planes take off and come back empty, but never land where they said they were going. There are whispers of oceans of bodies thrown overboard, of entire flights disappearing. And now we have white men in full tactical gear with faces covered, grabbing people off the streets. No badge, no IDs, no Miranda rights, no due process. They are targeting dialects, skin tones, children, workers, students. This isn't a movie. This is America right now. We were told the law would protect us. Civil rights were supposed to be the great equalizer. But what happens when the law only matters if a white man is harmed? What happens when lawsuits sit on the books for years only to be thrown out by a regime that sees no value in black life? We've entered a new era, but with an old script. White America is once again reminding us, we made the laws. We don't have to follow them. It's not just hypocrisy, it's terrorism with a suit on. Sex trafficking is a billion-dollar business. And in America, once you are taken, you are often never seen again. IDs change, birth records vanish, and nobody blinks. Why? Because the missing are usually black, brown, poor, immigrant, queer, or simply inconvenient. Our system is more equipped to trace a lost Amazon package than a missing child. Ask yourself, how did we get here? But more importantly, why are we still here? Let me say this clearly before I go any further. I am not a preacher. I don't come to you as a religious authority. I come to you as a woman who was raised in the truth. I come to you as someone who's watching the Bible reveal itself right in front of our eyes. And what I see happening right now, the oppression, the cruelty, the hunger for power, the regime turning against its own people, this was already written before we ever knew it would happen, which means the ending has also already been written. And the ending is not in their favor. I've come to realize something. Our deliverance will not come from Congress, not from Democrats, not from Republicans, not even from the Constitution, because the laws that were meant to protect us were never meant for us. The only thing keeping us alive right now is God. The same God they try to erase, the same higher power they mock, reduce to science, or try to replace with greed and power. But the scriptures say, the one who made the ear, can he not hear? The one who formed the eye, can he not see? Psalms 94, verse 9, New World Translation 2013. He's watching, and he will repay. Let me say this plainly. The very laws white supremacy created will be the same laws that destroy them. He will make their own violence return upon them. He will destroy them by their own evil. Jehovah our God will silence them. Psalms 94, verse 23. New World Translation 2013. They are building a system that will be their own demise. A regime so greedy, so wicked, so obsessed with dominance that it cannot sustain itself. Everything they are doing now, especially with the things like the One Big Beautiful Bill, is designed to take from the poor and line the pockets of billionaires. They are stripping healthcare, housing, education, and rights away while giving the elite more power. But even this was foretold. Their silver will be thrown into the streets, and their gold will become abhorrent. Their silver and their gold will not be able to save them on the day of Jehovah's fury. Ezekiel 7, verse 19, New World Translation, 2013. The money they worship will be worthless. The systems they trust will collapse. The men they follow will be judged. I know it feels hopeless. I know it looks terrifying. But the moment you realize that what's happening now is already predicted is the moment you regain your peace. Because no matter what it looks like now, the outcome is not in their hands. They are writing laws with cruelty, but those laws would trap them. They are creating surveillance to monitor the people, but those same cameras will expose them. They are building a fortress, but it's made of sand, because in the end, white supremacy is writing a check that even white America won't be able to cash. And I pray we live enough or long enough to see it happen.
Holy shit, they call it the law of the land, but the truth is the Constitution was never meant for all of us. The people who wrote it owned humans, raped women, beat children, and called it liberty. That's what we're told to worship. Blood-stained rules written by kings without crowns. And just like the Bible, it's been twisted, cherry-picked, and weaponized to justify the worst horrors this country has ever committed. You think the government actually cares about the Constitution? They don't even pretend anymore. Presidents ignore checks, police ignore rights, courts bend reality to fit the agenda of whoever's in power. One day it's freedom of speech. Next day, protesters are choked out in the street. One day, it's due process. Next day, drones kill American citizens without trial. The parchment only matters when it protects property, not people. They don't follow the rules. They use them as a muzzle. And the people, they parrot amendments like they're scripture, quoting the Second Amendment like gospel, ignoring the massacres piling up in its name, screaming about the first while cheering the arrests of journalists. They interpret the Constitution the same way they interpret the Bible, selectively, hypocritically, and always in defense of power. Never in defense of the poor, or the queer, or the trans women, or the migrant father, or the black mother. Both texts are treated like holy relics, but neither has ever protected the most vulnerable. The Constitution enshrined slavery, erased indigenous nations, and locked women out. The Bible was used to justify it. Manifest destiny was not just conquest, it was scripture and statute walking hand in hand over the bones of the colonized. And even now, we're watching the government shred its own doctrine. Supreme Court justices who claim original intent while gutting civil rights. Congress writes laws that starve kids and jail the poor while quoting Jefferson. Presidents invoke executive authority to bypass every safeguard. If it is sacred, Why do they treat it like scrap? It is a lie. It always has been. The Constitution is not freedom, it is a cage, written to protect wealth, maintain hierarchy, and pacify revolt. Just like the Bible has been used to silence dissent, the Constitution is used to criminalize survival. They don't believe in it. They believe in power, and power doesn't need truth, just tradition, repeated loud enough to drown out the bodies. Burn the myth. Tear up the scripture. Stop pretending justice lives in documents written by tyrants. Our freedom won't be found in old ink or ancient verses. It will be built from the ground up by the people the Constitution was written to control. They've got you believing genocide is just governance in motion. That is the con. Here lies the sickness. Neoliberalism is not reality. It is a chosen belief system meticulously engineered, enforced through debt, violence, and despair. Marketed like gravity. Paraded as truth. Wrapped in academic gloss and bipartisan applause. Still, this machine was built to serve the few, and it demands bodies to keep it humming. People speak like this is the edge of possibility. It's complicated, they mutter. We've got to be realistic. No. That's the logic of someone who's been broken by repetition and told the bruises are democracy. Trauma gets repackaged as discipline. Pain gets rebranded as maturity. After years of political gaslighting, folks start mistaking the cage for a cradle. What neoliberalism thrives on is your despair. Exhaustion is its oxygen. Apathy is its armor, because the second people start imagining something else, when they dare to build without permission, the empire begins to fracture. Hope, not fear, is what terrifies it most. This isn't a failing system, it is a predatory one. The prison industrial complex was not born from crime waves. It was designed to warehouse poverty and profit from suffering. Over 2 million people remain caged across the United States as of this year. Most are working class people. A vast majority of black, brown, disabled, queer, and trans disposable by policy. Simultaneously, the war machine accelerates. Over $900 billion was funneled into the Pentagon this year. At least 750 military bases dot the globe. More than 80 countries host U.S. forces. This is not protection. It is conquest in a uniform. It is extraction enforced by missiles. Democrats pantomime compassion while underwriting carnage. They dress violence in inclusion language and sell it as progress. One hand waves the rainbow flag while the other signs off on drone strikes. They'll post solidarity hashtags for Gaza, then vote to fund the bombs that level its neighborhoods. That is not justice. It is complicity in a prettier package. You won't reach socialism by marching through a capitalist pipeline. Elevating a communist within a neoliberal framework doesn't disrupt the machine, it guts them, it neuters them. What begins as resistance ends in paperwork. Revolutionaries get forced to smile through genocide and call it governance. This country does not simply stumble, it dominates by design. Internally, it criminalizes hunger. Globally, it topples governments, installs loyalists, and plunders land. And somehow, you're still asking if a few tweaks around the edges might be enough? Each time you sigh and say, maybe this is just how it is, you breathe life into the system. That is not realism, it is resignation. You sound like someone who's been convinced survival is all they're worth. Escaping that belief requires radical vision. Dreaming becomes defiance. It demands the courage to believe that another world is not just theoretical, it's already being built in the shadows of empire by hands they try to disappear. Comfort will not shield you. Silence won't protect your neighbor. Stability purchased with blood is not stability, it is sanctioned brutality. You were not born to be controlled. Compliance was never your purpose. No one was meant to be manageable. You were made to light the whole lie on fire and build something living in the ashes.
Trump has impacted every part of my life. There's a reason why you haven't heard me talk about it as much recently, because it gets to a point where you have to take a step back, and I want to talk a little bit about it without sharing too many details because your girl is still private. The administration has deeply impacted my quality of sleep and quantity of it as well. I wear an Apple Watch every night for months now to track my sleep. There's a noticeable deep decline in quantity and quality after November 5th. It's not really hard to figure out why. So all those people that come on here and see me making these like my night zoomy videos and are like, do you ever sleep? No, not really. TBH. I'm working on it, but you know, things are a little rough right now. There's also the social weight of all of this as well, especially as someone that is a part of multiple marginalized communities and have communities that also are part of those communities as well, because there are certain people that are able to key in and key out of what is happening at a national level more than others. So depending on your level of privilege, you are able to distance yourself from it in a varying ways. I myself am able to probably distance myself more so from it than someone that's Mexican American, because I'm not currently worried about ICE impacting me directly. That being said, though, I do have people in my community that are, which is a whole nother thing. But that has been a big thing, too, because it's like, because of the way that this country operates, we still have to work and do life, even as all of this is happening, which is hard, especially when the weight of all of this is going to be disproportionate depending on who you are. He's greatly impacted my work in many different ways. He's impacted my student loans. That's something that I have quite a bit of, and he has made it significantly harder to deal with that. He's impacted me medically, which I won't be getting into, but it is a thing, and community-wise as well, because like I said, I have Mexican-American people and people in general that are being targeted by ICE in my life that I worry for quite a bit because of what is happening right now. And that's not even to mention the issues with job security that they're having and a whole bunch of other stuff because of the industries that they operate in, and which even goes to my family, because my family, I have a lot of family that works in the government and the military. They're definitely being impacted by all of this. And then I have the older people in my family as well that are like on pins and needles about Social Security. Like, there's so many ways that he's impacting a lot of us. I'm very aware. But me particularly, that just has become overwhelming. And it gets to a point where I'm like, I have to get through the next 4 years. Like, I have to. And sitting and lamenting over the last year and the fact that we're in this position isn't really helping me at this point, because this is the reality that we're in right now. So I've been trying to focus on the things that I can control. So like I said a few weeks ago, that is how I deal with all of this. I focus on the things I can actually have impact on. So I may not be able to impact the way that ICE is directly profiling people and deporting them in some of the most horrendous ways. but I can at least talk to my community and see how we can counteract some of that, or how we can build networks around them to keep them safe. Like, I really try my best to focus on those things because it is depressing if you don't. So I know that I'm not the only one that's being greatly impacted by all of this, but I just want to say that, like, this is real, what is happening right now. And I'm doing everything I can to take care of myself and those around me, and in the midst of all of it. But yeah. Oh, and a big one. Information has been particularly difficult for me to wrap my head around. I know for years people have been saying fake media. Why is no one talking about this? Like, there's been a huge question of media and its validity, but I've never really like fully subscribed to that. I'm not saying there aren't media that have not been the best or credible. Obviously, that's a thing. But holistically, as someone that works in PR, I felt pretty confident about media and what the information that they provide, the reporting and things like that. Because of this administration, this is the first time I've actually questioned it. And it's not because of the reporters themselves, it's just the ability for them to report on things at all. It's access to information that's really concerning me right now. And I've seen directly how difficult it is to get information on certain topics now. And that's extremely concerning to me. And you're talking to someone that literally like works in communications, directly works with media. Like, this is not something that is completely foreign to me, and I'm just strictly looking at as someone that consumes media. So there are journalists that are doing really great work right now, and I think it's so important to support them because they're under a lot of pressure right now. I just really encourage people to keep in mind that the issues here are the companies that they're operating under, not the journalists themselves. So we got to get through the next 4 years, y'all. So I don't really have many truthfully positive things to say after all of this. I mainly came on here to say this because I wanted to make sure it was communicated that this has direct impact and it's not just this theoretical thing. And it is impacting me and many other people in a very deep and resonant way, and it is difficult right now. But also, I don't believe he has a vein condition, personally. So, I might be able to whip out the cowbell soon. Who knows?
This is all I got from this video. And firstly, I am going to start by saying that I know this administration has impacted literally everybody so far. And everybody's trying as much as they can to stay afloat, keep their head above the water level. And I hope that you continue to keep your head above the water level. I mean, this is actually a phase, and we hope that it phases out as very soon. Continue to stay strong, continue to work hard. I've been saying this, work smart as much as you can. Try to get some rest when you need that. Go for a walk, and hopefully you continue to stay in good health, because do not eat junks. Make sure you don't eat junks. Make sure you don't drink preserved drinks that much. Don't drink a lot of that. Do not do so much alcohol. It's not good for you. And do not smoke so much. Just stay clean, stay clean. So let's get into the video. Now, firstly, I am going to say a very big shout out to this beautiful big sister, the socialist. I love her. I love her so much. She really came with great words. And I love to listen to Black people a whole lot. Because they hold this history. They know it so much that the way they also pass the message is very appealing. No matter how hard it is to listen to, you absolutely will listen to them. She talks about the law and how the law has really been, the law was not made with people like me in mind, Everything they said that they are going to do as a law was also a leash to control every other person. And the way, like she said, that when the laws are no longer in use, or yeah, in use for them, or when they do not want it again, they look for something else to create in order to bypass the law and get into whatever they want to get into, and also look for a way to make people's life harder and all that. Yeah. They have used people that look like me for so many things. Black people's blood, sweat. If blood can speak, if sweat can speak, by today they absolutely will be speaking. Each time you pass, they will be speaking. But one thing I know for sure is that the universe has a way of coming back at them, even when we think they are not working, they are absolutely working. Black people have toiled, they have suffered, they have built. After building, they absolutely look for a way to bring it down, because that is what they know how to do with. They burn, lean, and chain, drown, and all that. Like she talked about that, the young men that already died, Pe0ple, George Floyd, all of them that I cannot even mention here. Breonna Taylor, that the other day, it's a whole lot. We cannot mention all of them, but I am sure you all remember the ones that you remember and the ones you do not remember. Rashidi Carter, all of them. Black people's blood, black people's sweat, it has fed us their own soil. And I love the way she said it. Blood has fed their soil so much. And then they think it's a flex. There ain't nothing flex about all this. Ain't nothing at all. But this is where black people found themselves. And they are still not relenting. They have been working hard. They are still struggling. They are still moving it. Let me tell you something. I remember people saying, there is something that I was reading yesterday. I understand that one thing with people is that when you are not here, like, for example, if I am not here will be hungering me. Like, I don't live in United States, right? And some people will be like, oh, I want to live in United States. Some people in United States will be like, oh, I don't live in maybe Germany. I want to live in Germany. Just like, for example, I saw somebody saying that I understand that black people's life has really been very hard, and it's an African person. I love the fact that a lot of people are also educating themselves and all that. They were trying to tell black people that they understand how bad the history has been, how bad they've been treated and all that. And the person was encouraging them, continue to hold on, continue to do much as the more you can do and all that. I mean, that there are some people also that are looking for a way or path to come to that place without knowing what you guys are going through. And some people will sit somewhere and say, oh my God, I wish I can probably live in United States, because for some people that is actually their dream, to live in United States, not knowing that that dream actually, it might work for some people or it's working for some people, but for the people that built that land, it is not great for them. So when you see them, when you hear them speak, acknowledge them, empathize with them, sympathize with them, because it's been a very long time coming for them and they are not taking break. If you like, each time I look at everything going on today and how black people voted, the best I can say is that they did not vote against anybody. They voted literally for everybody, because they felt like a freedom for them is also a freedom for everybody, both migrants and all that. They never discriminated. That alone, you have no idea how huge of a flex it is. It is a very huge flex. You might not say it. I say it, I recognize it, and I understand it. Some people, life has really changed so bad drastically for them, because the situation of the country alone is big enough to like put somebody in a depression or make your life even harder and all that. Then you can see concentration camps all over, ICE kidnapping people, making life harder for people and all that. I don't know how long this is going to last, but all I can say is that you have seen worse. There is nothing you have not seen. And one thing I know is that my prayer is that you never get to see all this. And that was also one of the reasons why you voted properly, because you understand what it means to be oppressed. You understand what it means to suffer. You did not want to experience this, and you did not want other people to also experience it. But some people, being the crazy people they are, the people that the best, what they love more is to see you suffer. What they enjoy more is the fact that as long as you are not feeling well, they are happy. Even if they are suffering, but as long as you are suffering, it's okay. So I am going to say this: don't beat yourself so hard, no matter how bad it turns, because you did the right thing. And I am hoping that with time, things will stabilize, life will be better, life will be easier. And I will also continue to tell you, if you have a very big yard, the best you can also do is plant some certain things so you can always harvest them by yourself. If you have children and you can, sometimes you procrastinate and all that, get your children to do it for you. Buy all the necessary things you need and get it started. It will go a very long way for you. And I love you all. Like you all know that already. You guys are always in my heart. And I am hoping that life gets better for you and for everybody, all Black people. Bye for now.